says, Kelly Oubre is my GOAT.
Is he
Mr.
now?
Rudy Poo.
Is he now?
Now we have to get into an individual performance. Well, and Valhos also added on, said, yes, Rudy Poo, go Kelly. So we got a lot of Kelly Oubre enthusiasm in the Super Chats today. So great time to get into. Look, I'll be transparent. I said it in my recap. When Tyrese goes down, head-to-head thing.
4-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Devon's like, it's your time, Tobias. It's your time, buddy. And I was like, pretending to be Kelly Oubre. I was like, it's my time, Kelly Oubre.
And I said, nope.
And we started laughing like it's going to happen in a bad way. And he went out there and shook off what up to that point had been a horrific offensive performance, mostly a horrific three-point shooting performance, and attacked the rim as well as he has all season.
First bucket was a dunk.
Got to the baseline dunk, hit a bunch of tough shots from 6 to 8 feet, where those are deceptively tough, where I know he's tall and athletic and whatever, and it's only 6 to 8 feet away, but when you're leaning and you're falling away and you're not moving toward the basket on the shot, those are far from guarantees. And look, Kelly he still took some threes and he made an important one at the end of that big run, but Kelly understood at a certain point, like, the three-point shot is not going down. I got to get to the basket. And I think we probably both agree, Devon, his best work all season has been going to the rim.
Yes.
And taking guys. When he got like Luka Doncic on him out on the perimeter, he's out, just going right by him.
Even on his weekend, He was going right.
And that's the mentality that he's got to show. And we said it throughout the game, even as he's missing shots, I don't think there might have been like one, maybe 2 threes where I was like, all right, Kelly, you got to reel it in a little bit. Everything else was mostly flow of the offense, balls moving around the perimeter, Kelly Oubre type shots. Like, I'll take those 100 times. I'll also take them and live with them specifically because he's making good basketball plays, right? Like, he goes on that long run. And he might have had a shaky play or two in the fourth quarter, but for the most part, he's reading the floor. His head is up. He's looking for his teammates. Mm-hmm. And so I don't mind living with some hero ball if you can also use your ball handling, if you can also use your scoring gravity to set other guys up. Like, that has always been the missing piece for Kelly. Yeah, he can go get his own, but everybody else is just cut off. They're isolated, and that leads to bad team offense. If he plays good team offense like that, I'm cool letting him cook. And like, part of the move of him to the bench in the first place is because Nick wants him to juice up the bench, to give them more creation when they have to sub off Tyrese Maxey, when they sub off Buddy Hield. And so he took to that in a big way tonight. I don't know if this is just a one-off performance or maybe the start of something good for him, but he did just about everything you could have asked him for in the second half, and kudos to him for that.
When Kyle is talking about Oubre driving to the basket, and I saw someone put it in the chat there also saying that Kelly Oubre down the stretch here has been really, while he's been struggling from the field, his driving to the basket, though, is what he's been doing.
It's been a weapon.
And I don't
season.
mind when he tries to posterize somebody because he is driving he's attacking the basket hard.
Yeah.
And when you have shot blockers there, you have to go with force. He's trying to hammer it home and not get it blocked. So I don't mind that.
Strong and wrong, baby.
That's it.
Just
Strong
go
and
hard.
wrong. I'm not mad at that. But to this afternoon, as he really got it going with those final 16 minutes, specifically in that stretch from the 4 minutes and then the first 2 to 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, where again, Tyrese Maxey was out there, but he wasn't really out there playing like Tyrese Maxey. He was more of a decoy. He got an and one to start things off. Tobias Harris had an and one to start things off in that, after they had that official review in that first 30 seconds. Once they got the game going again and they started to score points on the board, again, those 2 and ones, Kelly Oubre was one of them. So he's still, that 11 of their 14 points was, 11 of their 17 points was him, because it was another assisted one in that third quarter at the end. That was Nick Batum in the corner for a 3, courtesy of Kelly Oubre, who drew that double team. And then again, Tobias Harris getting his 3 on that and one, Kelly Oubre, his and one. he was really, really good there in that during that stretch, and he was really good. So if this is something that Nick Nurse was looking for, which we talked about, him going back to the bench to give them that offensive punch coming off the pine there, that is good. You're not going to get 21. You may not even get a run of 11 in one quarter, but if you can get his 14 points on average over the course of however many minutes he plays along the 4 quarters of a game, then this is really what they needed. So hopefully this gets him going. Same thing as they get ready for the Brooklyn Nets on Tuesday night. This is the type of play that they need. And it wasn't just that. It was the passing. It was the rebounding. He was taking rebounds away from guys in traffic because why? In the past, the opponent has been the one coming in and sneaking and taking the rebound away. He even had a bad one where Tobias Harris had it. He knocked it out of bounds. But you like he's the opportunistic way of him thinking, I got to go in here and get this rebound. Sometimes it's bad. Today it was more good. And that's what you needed because he wasn't just settling for shots when the ball swung to him. So some really good stuff from him, again, in this one.
So the Oubre stuff, to me, what's important, too, on the other side of it, like we're talking about him being unselfish and team-friendly basketball, all that. They also looked to him once he got rolling. Like this is the team around him was smart enough to recognize, hey, Kelly's got it going. Let's keep getting him the ball. And that's what I mean when I say...
Especially Kyle Lowry.
Yes. And that's what I mean when I say they showed cohesion and chemistry, because we sit here and we see some of the reactions to Kelly playing, right? From his teammates. There are games when he frustrates the shit out of not just me, not just Devon, not just Derek, but guys who are on that floor and on the bench with him. And I think it's a great lesson for all those guys, for Kelly, but also his teammates. Like, just empower each other, right? Like, if you make good basketball plays, they will come back to you. Like, Paul Reed has learned that lesson, I think, the last couple of games where, yes, he took a trail 3 tonight. The Hubie Brown, I think, nearly put him in an early grave. But other than that, Paul Reed's game was attack the offensive boards, try to score around the basket, make the extra pass, get a guy a better shot. There's a Kyle Lowry play where I think it was right at the start of Tobias's run tonight in the second quarter. Kyle Lowry had like a decent look at a 3, takes one dribble, dumps it off to Tobias. He gets like a 10-footer, and that's the start of like a 10 or 12-point run for Tobias. So these guys doing the little things, making the extra pass, led to so many open threes and buckets for guys who were struggling at the time or on the other side of it or cooking. Just the level of trust shown was far, far, far better than we've seen in any game in recent weeks. I think you give basically everybody credit there, certainly to Nurse, certainly to Lowry with his difference making in the lineup. Those things are all really important to me as someone who like gets in the weeds with this team and the league at large. Like, that's the stuff that when you get into the playoffs, when you're in a tight round 2 series, making that one extra pass, that split-second decision to either take a contested shot or try to get a pass through to somebody in traffic, that can be the difference between winning a game or not. And so it's really nice to see these guys building something without Joel there to basically be the human superhero to carry them through these games.
We all silly like the mayor.